Órale, Cholo Choclos, Tres Chingones Boxing. Shouts to all the Chingones y Chingonas. We're a little bit late. That's all my fault. Actually, I shouldn't blame it on me. I should blame it on man. If one of the Chingones wasn't here, man, I'd blame it on him, man. But they're all here, so let's bring them in. El gran chingón, el mero, one, Mr. David Contreras.
Hey, what's up, Cholo? I can't wait for tomorrow, man. My favorite fight, our favorite fighter, Virgil Ortiz. Let's get to it, man.
Yeah, and he's up against a tough opponent, man. And here to tell us who's going to win and exactly how they're going to win from Mikey TV, the boxing scientist, one, Mr. Mike Zavala.
Oh, man, I don't know if I could call that one. I really have to use my superpowers on that one. But Ed and David, we're going to blame somebody that we're late. You know what? Let's just blame it on Turkey a la Sheik or Jive Turkey, how I call him. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Mikey, I don't know if you got a chance to look at our show on Tuesday, the Gray Line. Dude, I talked about both of you guys, but the way I described you on that show, if you get a chance, take a look at it.
Okay.
I go, you know what? Cholo Trucker's good-looking guy. The guy knows boxing. He boxes himself. I go, but Mikey is special. That guy, I'm telling you, man, that guy is a scientist. He's a doctor. That guy is a surgeon when it comes to boxing. And you know what, Mikey? There is no doubt. Your predictions, 99% of the time come true, but the best thing about you is how you break down the fights. You know, I know for myself, we can't wait to hear you, brother. Break it down for us.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, man, you got me on the hot seat, man.
Exactly.
Thanks.
No pressure, Holmes. All the pressure.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, man.
Saludos to the Micho. Guys, so we got a lot to get into, so let's go ahead and let's get into it. Let's talk about what happened over the weekend. We're going to get into Your Excellency as well, the whole show as a show all together. We'll get into all that, but let's talk about a couple of fights that happened. Let's talk about David Morrell making his debut at 175. David, what did you see in David Morrell at 175?
The same thing I saw with David Benavidez. They're not the monsters anymore. You know what? Those two guys were weight bullies. And Mikey, you called it when we were texting each other. Dude, without a doubt, they were the weight bullies. Now they're fighting guys their size. And you know what? They're not making a big splash. Yeah, I like David Benavidez. And I know, Mikey, there's some differences, but I like David Benavidez. But he is not ready for Bivol or Beater Beef. I think it's going to have the same Canelo type of effect. No, I mean, they were weight bullies. And you know what? Now they're still great fighters, good fighters. Pero, dude, now they're fighting men their size. So they didn't make a big splash.
Okay. Mikey, David Morrell made a big splash with not that many fights. People were already talking about him. Hey, maybe him and Canelo, right? Moves up to 175. What did you see in him?
Yeah, man, it just goes back to Canelo. It goes back to it ain't easy, man. It ain't easy to move up one division. Terrence Crawford moved up to 154. He looked regular. Benavidez moved up. He looked regular. Morrell moved up. He looked regular. Canelo moved up. And he's doing things that you never seen before. A little 5'7" guy moving up to 175, going to the speed at 168. It's not easy what Canelo does. It's not moving one division, a couple pounds up will affect you. Yes, it takes a couple of fights to see where you're at but so far, Benavidez, Morrell, and Crawford, they need more fights in those divisions they moved up. It's not easy, man. It's not easy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, look, man, I'm gonna basically just echo what you guys were saying. He didn't look impressive. I mean, he went up there, he won, he did his thing, but yeah, he didn't look like the David Morrell that everybody's talking about. He just looked just kind of average, you know. Did the weight have anything to do with it? I would say it did, you know, to a certain extent, but yeah, he just kind of looked like, okay, cool, you know. I mean, there was no message there that I was able to see, like, wow, that vato sent a message telling everybody at 175 there's a new kid in town, so watch out. Nothing, just silence. He won. Oh, well, nothing big, nothing major. Just like, wow, all right. So we'll see what happens with that. Let's, Yola JC. Hey, Box Talk 101. What
What up,
is going
brother?
on, big dog? I'm still waiting for hey Box Talk. I'm still waiting for Cambosis versus Rolly Romero, man. Make that fight happen, Box Talk. Um, so let's talk about Jared Anderson. Suffers his first loss, and there's no controversy behind it. There is no like, well, it was a bad decision. There's no, man. He went in there and he got his ass kicked. Mikey, what do you say about that fight, man?
Yeah, man. A cruiserweight versus a heavyweight. If you really want to break it down, Jared Anderson's really a cruiserweight. He's a little guy. It was a last minute. He got this fight was put together in the last minute, right? Something like that. He didn't really have a full training camp, if I'm not mistaken, right, gentlemen?
Right,
So
yes.
he didn't have a full training camp. And this guy's not focused, man. He tells you in his interviews, he tells you that he doesn't love boxing. Dave, I'm echoing Dave. He doesn't like boxing, and he got a last minute fight, and he totally got annihilated. He got destroyed. I don't know what he was doing. He went southpaw and put his face in the line of fire. Like, dude, what are you doing? His defense is fake defense. He puts his hands here, he moves his head, he still gets hit. Man, this guy, yeah, the future for the American heavyweight, he's not the one. He's not the one. He should move to cruiserweight, man. He has a better chance of cruiser because there's some big boys at heavyweight now. The division is getting thick, and I don't see him in there. So yeah, man.
Hey, David, once upon a time, if you're 6'2", 6'3", you were a pretty good, decent sized heavyweight. Not today. So he's not that tall by today's standards of heavyweights. What did you make about his performance and his first loss?
Muhammad Ali, I believe, was 6'3", and I believe he weighed 231 or 241, one of the
Mm.
two. This guy 6'4", went in at 246, I believe, 246.4. He went in against 6'6", I believe, or 6', yeah, 6'6", 303 pounds, I guess, something like that. Ed, I know you've always liked him. Baby Anderson, Baby Anderson. He
Mm.
got exposed, bro. And you know what? And I like that other kid, the one from Torres. I like him. And you know what? That's another one, Mikey, that should go to cruiserweight. You
Yeah.
know what? He did well in the Olympics. He goes up against one of these monsters, they're going to get exposed. And you know what? It happened to Zurdo. They get exposed. You know what I mean? And he got exposed, bro. I've never been a big fan, especially he's been arrested several times. And especially on one of his interviews where he said, I only do this for the money. Dude, you know what? You don't do this for the money. You do it for the heart, and you do it because you want to be a world champion. And you know what? It's time for him either to retire, lose some weight, go down to cruiserweight, or go down to that other one. What's the other one called? That special one?
Bridgerweight.
Yeah, he'll be
Bridget.
a world champ. He'll be him because he only has to fight one guy there. He'll be a world champion there. But you know what? He's not the real deal. Not at all.
But okay, so let me ask you guys this, man. Mikey, I'll start with you. First off, do you want to see a Bacoli? Do you want to see him there? Do you want to see him against one of the top heavyweights now that he took out Anderson? And does Anderson come back,
No.
or is he done? I'm not talking about is he retiring. I'm talking about the hype behind him. Does he make a comeback, or now is he going to be somewhat like an Andy Ruiz sort of?
Yeah, I think he's like an Andrew Ruiz type of fighter. Uh, he's not. His heart's not in it. Ed, his heart's not in it. I can't back up a guy that's not in it 100%. You respect the game, or the game's gonna disrespect you. Look what happened to him. He's not taking it serious. And even when after he lost, like, oh well, it's a loss. Oh well, it's like I would have been mad. I'll say, man, I'm coming back stronger. This and that. He was just like, whatever's. I'm going back with my daughter and all that. Yes, I get it, but I'm starting. I sense it, and we know it that his heart's not in it. And the other guy, the big guy, what's his name?
Bacoli.
McCauley, this guy's a monster, George Foreman type of fighter.
George
I
Foreman,
like how he
yeah.
fights his uppercuts. I like it. I like his skill. It's not, oh my God, it's solid, and his punches are solid. He is trouble. Whoever he fights at the heavyweight level, if he fights Zing or whoever he fights, it's a great match. So this guy has power, and he got hit with some shots and nothing happened. So I like him. It'll be a great fight versus whoever. I like him. Another name in the heavyweight division.
That's a good one.
Good
Dimitrio.
gosh, Dimitro, come on, man. Hey,
That'd be a good fight.
hey,
That'd be a good
David.
fight.
David, does Baby Anderson come back? And what about Bacoli? Everyone's focused on Anderson, but what about Bacoli, man? He went in there and he made a statement.
You know what? Andy Reese lost that fight. Without a doubt. Andy Reese lost that fight. Now he should fight the other big baby. I would love to see, and I think that's who he's probably going to fight the other big baby, and that would be a good fight.
You're saying Bacoli should fight Miller?
Yes, the other baby Miller. That's who he should fight. I mean, dude, that was not. I know we're going to talk about it, but I mean that was a give me to Andy. But that's who he should fight. And you know who Anderson should fight? Torres. It's time to step it up, Torres. I like Torres. He's an Olympian, but you know what? I want to see those two fight. I think that would be a great fight, and I want to see Baby Miller fight Bacoli. That would be a great fight.
Yeah,
and I got Bacoli winning.
Okay. As for me, I was an Anderson fan. You know, I knew that he had said that he wants to retire at the age of 26, 27, something like that, because he's waiting for his brother. I think his brother's incarcerated. But then he starts with his pendejadas. You know, he's running from the law. I still like him, but I don't know. Maybe you guys are right. Maybe his heart's not in it, right? He made it clear that, hey, look, I'm not doing this for the passion. I'm doing this for the money. Yeah. I don't really have that much of an issue with that because boxing is a poor man's sport to begin with. You know, I mean, we talk about like, hey, if you got money, you're probably not going to be a good fighter. It's got to be the ones that, you know, are coming from the gutter. But yeah, man, there's got to be some sort of passion there to do it as well. It just can't be just all about money. There's got to be some sort of passion. And I don't think he comes back. I think he fights again, but I don't think he comes back and has, you know, this incredible career that it was looking like he was going to have. I think he comes back, maybe fights once, twice.
Would you want to see him fight Torres? I think that'd be a great fight, and they both fight for top rank. That would be a great fight, man.
Go get him, Torres. Go get him. Go get him, Torres. Hey, Torres. Hey, use that 70 porns mustache, homie.
That's right.
as your power and go put the heat on them, man. Because I think Anderson, I think this is it. I think Bacoli took his soul, man. I don't think Anderson comes back as the same fighter ever again. And maybe he was never really that good to begin with. You know, there was just a lot of hype because there is really no American heavyweight fighter really like, you know, making noise. So, and he was one of them, but unfortunately he just doesn't have the passion for it. So, you know, so be it. Guys, let's move on to the other heavyweight fight with Andy Ruiz and Miller. I was a fan of Miller. I wanted to see him years ago when he was going to fight Anthony Joshua in New York. And then that's when he first tested positive, breaking my heart. I'm like, damn, I was really looking forward to that fight. People booing after the judges and everything, man. And Andy Ruiz, to be fair, Andy Ruiz showing that he broke his hand. Now, it looked on the camera, it looked like his hand was broken. David, I'll start with you. What did you make about that fight?
Andy Ruiz, number one, didn't have the power to knock him out. Dude, he did not have the power. Number two, Andy Ruiz did not train for a 12-round fight. I mean, he was tired. Forget about the broken arm. He was completely tired. Andy Ruiz is washed up, bro. He's not going to ever be a world champion again. Andy Ruiz should hopefully he invested his money well, and hopefully now hey, what's up, heck nasty? Hopefully now he can invest his money correctly and have a wonderful life. You know what I mean? One of the things that I did notice with Andy has nothing to do with the fight. He does speak very well now compared to when he first became a champion. So maybe, I mean, he can make some money as a businessman, but you know what? He has no business in the ring. Imagine with him against Bacoli. I mean, he's going to get hurt. He doesn't have the power to knock out these guys, and he doesn't have the discipline to train. He ran out of gas, and he lost that fight. That was not a draw. As a matter of fact, Baby Miller looked better at the 12th round than he did in the first and second and third round. That guy had full of energy, you know? So, yeah, he needs to retire.
Yeah, I want to send a shout out to my boy right there, Buzz,
Yeah,
man.
Yard
Yard
Rico.
Rico. He's the one that shared the ring with me earlier this year. Mikey, Andy
Yeah.
Ruiz, he's only fought, this is only his third fight since he lost against Anthony Joshua, man. People were thinking, I remember when he won the title from Joshua, people were like, wow, you know what? First
Yeah.
Chicano Mexican heavyweight and everything. Here we are, man. What's the deal with Andy Ruiz, and what did you see in this fight?
Yeah, I think Andy Reese is better when he's fat. I think he's better when he's a gordote with chichotas. Yeah, he fights better. He's stronger. He's the skinny Andy Reese, or so-called skinny. It's not, and not to mention the whole fight cards. They sucked. That event sucked. I didn't like it. But yeah, man, who's his trainer? If you look at his trainer, that's his midwork trainer, and that was his guy. His dad, Andy Reese's dad, and the midwork guy was was the head coach during the fight. There wasn't a lot of strategy in the fight. He hurt his hand. Well, you got to use your other hand. You got to jab. You got to.
That's
No, his
right.
footwork wasn't there. He was getting hit with bombs, with big shots. He needs to switch trainers, but in the heavyweight weight division got too deep. I don't think he could beat these big guys, these big names in the heavyweight division. So yeah, if he needs to do something, he needs to get a new trainer and start training with a real trainer that will teach him fundamentals, will teach him his footwork. He looks sloppy defense. So and his outside Lupio Rivera's wife and ex-wife, and this is he was coming out before the fight. There was shows with Duno inside they were inside his house. He was going shopping, his cars. Like, dude, you need to leave all that alone and concentrate 100% in boxing because, like I said, the heavyweight division is not a joke right now. They're big, and right now I don't even see him. I don't see him competing with no one.
No.
Yeah.
David, did money ruin him?
Yes. Yeah, money ruined him. I mean, before that big
Or
fight,
ruin his career, I guess I should say.
well, yeah, before that big fight, he was literally sleeping in his coach's garage because his wife had kicked him out. He was literally sleeping, and his coach, what's his name, Manny Robles. And then after that big fight, he fires Manny Robles. He goes and buys himself Rolls Royce. He bought his mom a house. He gets a divorce, dude. His career went downhill, and then he fought that guy. What's his name? That heavyweight that's like 60 years old, Areola. He didn't look good there. I mean, this guy, you know what? He's done, man. And like somebody's mentioned earlier, I think it was D or somebody mentioned that you can't take 2 years off of boxing. You can't take 2 years. He needs to invest his money properly and retire and have a wonderful life.
Okay. Yeah, man.
Y es un mal agradecido. He's an ungrateful bastard. I mean, leaving his coach. I mean, literally living in his garage, leaving his coach after he won the millions and then firing him. He's ungrateful, you know?
Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do for Lupio
And his wife.
Oh. And his wife.
Okay, that's my bad. I had to let that one out too.
Yeah,
and his dog.
I don't think his heart's in it either. I think Jared Miller. I think he's in it to win it, man. You know, he tested positive a few times. I think like 2 times, right? And I think he knows, you know, his the timer's on. He doesn't have much time. He seemed pretty devastated. You know, he really did, man. He seemed pretty devastated. I think, and this is he fought not too long ago. You know, before Andy Ruiz, he fought just a few months before that. He lost. He ran out of gas, but he came in better shape in this fight. And yeah, I did see Andy Ruiz just running out of gas. I saw him huffing and puffing. He's talking about, hey, if he wants to rematch, I'll give you the rematch. But you got a broken hand, homie. When is this rematch going to happen? When are we going to see you in the ring again? I don't think we see Andy Ruiz till probably like the December of next year. Because even without an injury, he does not stay busy. So, and now that he has an injury, I don't think Miller's gonna wait for this dude, man. I think Miller's gonna go make some movidas. So I
Hey,
do think Miller's hungry.
hey, Ed, not only that, but Miller changed coaches. You know who his coach is now? Boots Ennis, his father.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah,
he's completely changed coaches. You know what I mean? And Boots Ennis' father's a good coach. Look at his sons. So I'm telling you, he is making some positive changes. And it was a different Miller, totally different Miller.
yeah. I like this. I like this Miller. I think he can do some work in the heavyweight division. But moving right along, gentlemen, let's talk about the co-main event. My goodness, man. El
Yeah,
Rayo, son of a
yeah,
bastard, man. Pitbull Cruz. That I was watching that fight just at the edge of my seat, man. It was
yeah,
really entertaining. It was the sweet science, but entertaining. It was
yeah.
fun to watch. Mikey, I'll start with you on this one, man, because I know David really wants to bask in the light, man.
No,
They,
no, not at all. I'm a humble man.
except for tonight. Mikey, what did you see in
No.
this fight, man?
Yeah, I just Rayo. I didn't even think Rayo had the capacity to fight off the back foot and boxing skills. You got hit. It was a close fight. I saw it as a close fight because Pitbull did land some good shots on Rayo. Nothing happened to him. Like, oh shit! But Rayo was getting points, moving around, hugging, not letting Pitbull do his thing. And I believe, yeah, Rayo won, but in a close fight. And wow, if Rayo fights like this, he could give people trouble at 140. He's a champion. So yeah, close fight. Pitbull. It could have gone either way, man. It wasn't a slaughter. But like they were mentioning here on the comments, I don't know who said it, but style makes fights. With Pitbull Cruz, you got to match him up right. With a guy that fights off the back foot, he's not gonna shine. He needs someone that will bang with him. That's Pitbull Cruz. But Pitbull Cruz cut the ring and tried to do what he did, put his foot in the outside and try to land. But Ryo was just too quick. Was getting out of the way, hugging, turning him, and he did this. He had a good strategy to beat a guy that doesn't have the IQ to stop him. So shout out to Rayo, man.
Yeah, man. Pitbull Cruz doesn't really like jab to set up some good punches. He doesn't really jab too much. He needs somebody to stand in front of him and bang it out with him. Rayo used his height, he used his reach, he used his feet, he used his movement, he used the ring. And Pitbull, a lot of times, was just hitting nothing but the air. A lot of times he would swing and Rayo wasn't there, man, to block or anything. He just wasn't there. Pitbull was just hitting the air. It was some great boxing. Rayo really, really surprised
Yeah.
me. And on top of that, yes, it was a sweet science. For those that say, like, oh man, the sweet science is boring when you talk about like a Shakur Stevenson or something. Rayo did the sweet science in an entertaining way. You can do the sweet science and be very entertaining because he was entertaining and it was fun to watch. I'll get to the controversy in just a second, but David, I'll say you, brother, you're the only one on this panel that called it for Rayo. Talk to us, man.
You know what, Ed? I was just like you. I was at the edge of my seat. Literally, I was the edge of my seat because I knew that it was one punch away of him getting knocked out. Because Mikey, I saw those right hands coming. I saw the left hooks coming. And you know what? The only thing I complain about Rayo today is that he should have fought lower, shorter. He was
Mhm.
fighting too high and his chin was exposed. And that's why all night long I was like, wow, he took it. Wow, he missed. And I'm with you, Joaquin Zamora, that you gave him 4. I watched it twice also, and I'll probably watch it again tonight. I love that fight. I love the way Roberto Garcia and his father, Big G, they showed Big G giving him a lot of wisdom. That's a man of 80 years old giving wisdom to this young man, and he was sucking it all in. With that said, you know what? I just wish he would have fought, like I said, a little shorter, but I had it 3 rounds to Pitbull and 9 for Rayo. I had it 9-3. And when they said it was close, I didn't see that. Because what I did see is Pitbull taking advantage of the last 10 seconds, going crazy, and he did. That's when he hit him a lot of the times, but it was the last 10 seconds. Before that, Rayo gave him a bam. Tell me if I'm wrong. A bam boxing lesson. Did you see him, Mikey, when he had him in the corner? He'd pivot to the right, come back around, and with the up. I mean, that was bam, man. I mean, I'll tell you, and
Yeah,
I'm with you. He's going to give everybody problems because he has the same school that Bam Rodriguez has. So, hey, great fight, outstanding fight.
Yeah, gentlemen, there's a little bit of controversy because apparently I wasn't there, but apparently a lot of people that were there at the fight thought that Pitbull won. Now,
Yeah,
people that watched it at home, I'm having a tough time finding people that thought that Pitbull won. Most people that watched
yeah,
it at home saw Rayo winning, but people that were there in the audience, and from what I'm
yeah.
hearing, they thought that Pitbull won the fight. I can't make. I thought Rayo won pretty convincingly. I don't think it was even really that close, man. I mean, I don't think Pitbull got his ass kicked, but he definitely lost the fight. Definitely, hands down to me, lost the fight. And Rayo gave him a good boxing lesson. Mikey, did you see anything, man, where you could say we could make an argument like, you know what, maybe Pitbull did escape with the fight?
I'm gonna. You know what? It's because you got to beat the champion convincingly, Ed. You know the unwritten rules. That's why people are complaining. In order to beat the champion, you got to beat him to get this belt. You got to beat him convincingly. We all know the rules. So did he give him a boxing, put him beat down, and then dropped him and left him bleeding? No, he just slapped him around. Boom, was turning up, boom, boom, moving. But people did landed some clear shots. You can see Rayo's head because, like Dave said, he had his head up and all that. So boxing, it's your perspective and all that. So I seen it pretty close, but I gave it to Rayo because fucking he did what he wanted to do, and he did land some good shots and was moving. He showed a boxing lesson. I'm like, oh shit. But
Yeah, boxing
like
lesson.
if you look at the Mexican hardcore fans, my dad and all that, nah, no sirve, corrió, no, because you know
Mhm.
they like to bang it out, and you gotta beat the champion convincing. So my dad said, al campeón se le gana, te tienes que ganar al campeón. You got to beat the champion convincingly to beat his belt, to get his belt. Remember, Pitbull was a champion, and a fact like this, you don't get a lot of the times you don't get the belt. Look what happened to De La Hoya versus Trinidad. He gave him a fucking boxing lesson. Yeah, at the end
Yeah,
he moved a little bit, but he had to fight in the bag. But you got to beat. I don't know who was a champion. They were both champions, but you got to win convincingly, especially if you're the champion. So maybe that's the argument, Ed and Dave. But I saw it close, but I gave it a Rayo. I see it. That's how I saw it.
Yeah, David, like I said, there's some controversy. People that were there, they were even booing when Ra was being interviewed. There was quite a few people that were booing, like, nah, Charlie, he didn't win. But yet, anybody that was, or at least from what I see, anybody that watched it at home that was not there, they clearly had it for Rayo. Anything, David, that you see where it's like, nah, Pitbull probably, I could see their argument. Pitbull probably could have won the fight.
no, no, not at all. And I agree with Andrew and with I believe several others. 8-4. I could go
Yeah.
8-4. And I was not being generous, but I saw 9-3. But other than that, no way, bro. There's no way. There's no way that it was 6-4. You know what I mean? Or 6-6. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one person right there, JC. Chavez is he's won. He was there, and he
Mhm.
said he was pissed that Pitbull won the fight, and people were booing. If you guys go back and
The
watch,
Pitbull lost the fight.
that Pitbull won the fight,
Oh,
Chavez.
he thought that Pitbull won the fight.
Yeah, and he was there. Julio Cesar Chavez was there, and he
Yeah,
was pissed,
yeah,
saying
I
that
remember hearing
Pitbull.
about that.
Yeah, saying that
Yeah,
people won the fight, and people were booing. People really thought that
yeah,
Rayo lost. I
yeah.
can't see
There's no
that
way.
happening, man.
No, there's no way.
Everything that I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
clearly showed that Rayo won the fight. To me, hands down, I
yeah,
think he won the fight, man.
yeah,
No argument
without a
about
doubt.
it. Yeah.
And
So,
do you want to see the rematch? I don't want to see the rematch.
okay,
You guys want
I'm
to see
down.
it?
okay.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
exactly
down.
okay. That's exactly what I was going to bring up. All right.
Mhm.
I think he won convincingly enough where I don't need to see a rematch. If it happens, okay, fine, so be it. I won't be against a rematch. I won't be against la revancha, Holmes, right? But I thought he won convincingly enough. Where I'm like, man, I don't need to see it again. How say you, Mikey?
I'm down for the rematch, man. These
Really.
both of them have something to prove. If it's controversial, Julio Cesar Chavez calling it, uh,
Who
they
cares
Ryo
what
needs to
Julio
knock him
Cesar
out, man.
Chavez
He needs
thinks?
to give him a boxing lesson
Yeah, I
and
mean,
knock him out. Mexican boxing, what?
he's not going to knock him out. He's not going to. He can't knock
He
him
has the
out. I mean,
power.
yeah, he has the power, but I mean, how do you hit him in the neck? I mean, he did hit him a couple of. I mean, right? I mean, este pitbull, such a parrito, such chiquito. How do you get through that high guard, Mikey? You know what I mean? He gave him. That's how
Yeah.
you fight a chaparro enano like that. That's how you fight him. And he gave him a boxing lesson. Now, whom I want to see Rayo fight next? Tank. I want to see him fight Tank. I want to see him fight Tank. That would be a great fight. Teofimo Lopez. Now that would be another great fight. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's where I want to see Rayo go. Not against that Russian or that Ukrainian that has a belt. No, don't waste your time. Well, he can unite the belts, but put him with Tank. I think Tank would be a great fight for Rayo.
Okay. So now let me throw this at you guys when it comes to Rayo. Does he stay at 140? This was his first fight at 140 pounds. He doesn't go back down to 135, David?
No, heck no way. He's good at 140. He even said when they interviewed him, I felt stronger. I felt this is where I need to be. He felt stronger and he looked stronger. Mikey, like you said, he did have that power. You know, hey Tony, what's going on, brother? But yeah, no, he needs to stay where he's at, and I think that he's going to be. I think he can unite a couple of belts. Myself.
Mikey, what does the Rayo do? This was his own. He only moved up to fight Pitbull Cruz.
Yeah.
Does he move back down to 135? Does he stay at 140? If he stays at 140, Tank is not going to move up to 140 to fight. Not Rayo.
Yeah, no, there's good fights in both weight classes. And let me just mention this. They asked Robert Garcia if he wanted the rematch, and Robert said, yeah. And then it was Robert Garcia and David Benavidez Sr., Jose Benavidez Sr., and Jose was like, no, we'll go somewhere else. And then Robert Garcia was like, whoa. No, we want the rematch. Whoa, well, shut up, because it's a big payday. It's a big fight. The rematch, and we're going to see it clearly who wins the fight. It was a good fight, man. Let's watch it again. Why not? And then Teofimo's there. There's a lot of matches. He could fight 3 times this year. I mean, 2 more times this year, maybe. So, yeah, man. There's at 130, 135, 140 for Rayo. It's looking good. It's looking good, man.
Yeah. And Pitbull, what do you want to see next from him? If it's not the rematch, Mikey, what's next for Pitbull? Does he stay at 140 or does he go back down to 135?
Pitbull, you got to match him right. If you put him with a guy that boxes, he's not going to look good, or a tall guy that uses his length. Either Tank Davis, the rematch, that's a great fight, man. He made Tank Davis look human. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what there. They even said Pitbull won that fight. You know what I mean? So let's get it there. Let's get the rematch for Rayo, or let's get a fight versus what's his name? The Venezuelan ugly ass dude, Barrasso.
Barrasso? That'd be a good fight.
Barroso.
Put him with Barroso. That's a fight. Or the Puerto Rican guy. Or the Puerto Riqueño, the 140 pounder that just lost.
Subrio Matias.
Like, match him up like that. You gotta match him up right, dude. Like I'm saying, I'm surprised that Rayo fought off the back foot. I thought it was gonna be a banger. I was like, holy shit, I'm ready for this. And then Rayo fought off the back foot. I was like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? And Rayo has that in his arsenal. Robert Garcia, man, is teaching these guys the art of boxing now. I didn't even think Robert Garcia had that. But what Bam's doing is like, Bam's doing like Sweepy Whitaker type, Lomachenko type shit. Like, where the fuck did that come from? That's Robert Garcia. So he's growing and maturing as he's getting better, dude. Robert Garcia is getting way better as a coach. He's putting that in his arsenal, boxing.
You know, Demetrio, you ain't right, dog. You ain't right. Let Gamboa live the rest of his life out. By the way, you know, Barroso, I love that guy. He honestly, his nickname should be male model. That's what he should be, male model.
He would look great in GQ magazine without either that or you know, better yet, in the Alarma in Mexico. He would be a perfect model for the Alarma.
David, okay.
Robert was.
Okay, yeah, David, Pitbull Cruz, what's next for him? Does he stay at 140? Does he go 135? What's next for him? If the rematch does not happen, What do you want to see next from Pitbull?
He's too short, man. He's 5'4". 5'4". I'd say go back to 135. You know what I mean? Even though I like your fights, Mikey, I would love to see him fight Barroso. I would love to see him fight Matias Subias. I love to see him fight those guys because that's a banger fight. That's a bloody Mexican style fight. You know what I mean? But if he's not against, he's too small, man. He's 5'4". 5'4", and like everybody says, he's a one-trick pony. He's a one-trick pony, and you know what? This guy already exposed them, and that's how you beat him. That's how you beat him. So yeah, no, 135 or fight your guys, Mikey.
Yeah, but if he goes to 135, you put him up with Shakur Stevenson. That's gonna be a boring fight. Yes. You got to match him up right, no matter what weight class. In my opinion, you know what I'm saying?
What about Camarón?
Well, that's a good fight.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
going back. Oh yeah.
Oh man, that'd be a good fight. Yeah,
that'd be nice, man. Yeah, look, I would say Rayo stay at 140. What is he? 5'9" or something like that? He's
5'10", 5'9".
5'10".
Yeah, man. Hey, Rayo, stay at 140, and eventually I think you'll be at 147, man. There's no need for you to move back down, man. You did, and especially what you showed in the ring against Pitbull, your movement, your footwork, all that good stuff. Just
shoulder roll.
Yeah, you look great, man. As far as Pitbull, yeah, look, I was always concerned with Pitbull. He is a small dude. Look, he's small for 135. For 135, he's kind of a small guy. He only went up there and became champion because Rolly Romero was champion for that fight against Barroso, where I thought he was getting his ass kicked, but Tony Weeks went in there and stopped it when Rolly didn't even land a single punch. Tony Weeks went in there and stopped it. It's like, what the heck's going on here? So for Pitbull, he's still fun to watch. He's still exciting. I think the Mexican fans are still going to love him just because he's fun to watch. And I think that's probably what it was really about, the fact that he's an action-packed fighter. Like I said, I went when Andy Ruiz fought King Kong Ortiz. I didn't realize. That's when I first realized, like, damn, Pitbull got a lot of fans. Like, a lot of people there. Man. Yeah, that's when I was like, damn, what the heck? This vato's got a lot of fans. A lot of people with Mexican flags and Mexican bandanas that says Pitbull and everything. It's like, orale, dog. Because he has he's got a banger style, man. He's got a real fun style. So go back down to 135, and he could have some fun fights down there.
And were you surprised that, half of those fans were given free tickets? They weren't boxing fans. I don't know if you noticed it or not. When he was walking down, and I think I told you, Mikey, there's something wrong here. Look at the fans. Nobody has a Mexican flag. Nobody has Pitbull, because I've been at a Pitbull fight. I've seen his fights, and everything you described, I saw it. You did. When he walked down, dude, nobody clapped. Very few clapped. And that's when I told Mikey, these fans, they're not your ordinary Mexican fans from Mexico. They would have been yelling Pitbull. Dude, they were not. And then they scanned the crowd. Dude, nobody was jumping up and down like they were where you were when he fought. Dude, those fans were given free tickets. A lot of them were not boxing fans.
All right,
am I wrong? Am I wrong here?
No, but we'll get to that in just a second. Okay. First of all, David D., how dare you disrespect former world champion Rolly Romero, man? Come on. The guy fought for his title. No. David D. from Putazos y Pendejadas, man. Shout out to Putazos y Pendejadas. Hey, gentlemen, let's go to the main event. I dropped the poll talking about who won the fight. There was some controversy. Some people thought that Crawford lost. Madrimov won. Some people thought Crawford did win. Some people thought it was a draw. David, I'll start with you. What did you make of this fight, and how did you have it?
Once again, man, I think it exposed Crawford. First of all, this guy is not that great, bro. I think Virgil Ortiz will take him. Madrimov, come on, man. You know what? He got exposed, bro. He got exposed. He better stay away from Canelo. I think Canelo, by not accepting that turkey a la cheeks or whatever his name is, his proposal, he's saving his life. You know what? This guy's Madrimov, and even after the fight, when they were interviewing his coach, what's his name, Crawford's coach. Oh, that guy, he hits like a motherfucker. Oh, that guy is strong. Really? You know what? That's why, Mikey, like you say, styles make fights. And number two, you know what? There's weights for a reason. There's weight classes for a reason. And he didn't look like the pound for pound dude. He did not look. I think he won, but he did not look like the pound for pound fighter that another one that maybe was a weight bully at 147.
Okay, Mikey, I dropped a poll. We got 37. I'm sorry, we got 31 votes. 23% thought that Madrimov won. 35% thought that Crawford won. 42% thought it was a draw. How did one Mike Zavala have it?
Man, you got to beat the champion convincingly, man. Madrimov was the champion. It was a close fight. Crawford, he looks slow. He looked old. He's fighting a guy that has 10 fights, 11 fights, and that he was getting hit with rights. Imagine Canelo hits him with those rights. There's weight classes for a reason, man. Crawford's good and all that. At 147, and if you really want to break it down, they want to be picky. How you used to tell me, who has he fought? No, look, if you really want to break it down scientifically, these guys were hurt. These guys were coming off losses, or we're coming off surgery. We're coming off car accidents. Like, coming off from getting shot. Like, throw it. If you really want to break that down, now we're gonna see. We saw what Crawford's all about at a higher weight class at 154. These guys are bigger. They're stronger. Man, he's 38 years old. He look old. He looks slow. That weight class, he's gonna have trouble at 54. I think he should just go back to 147, fight Boots Ennis. And I don't even know if he could beat Boots Ennis. It'll be a great fight. He's already 38 years old, man. That Canelo versus Crawford fight is just a payday. It's just a payday. Canelo doesn't want that fight, but show him the money. Show him the money, and he'll fight him, and he'll expose him. But yeah, we're resting all that pound for pound. My pound for pound is Usyk number 1, Canelo number 2, number 3 is Inoue number 4. I'm gonna have my boy Bam, and maybe Crawford number 5, 6. If you really want to be nice, yeah.
You know what? Madrimov moves a lot. Like, he's very jittery. Like, his body's just moving a lot. The thing is, he didn't throw a lot. So while there was a lot of movement from Madrimov, there wasn't a lot of him throwing punches. It did not. So it looked like he's doing a lot, but in reality, he wasn't throwing a lot. Had he let his hands go a little bit more, maybe he would have came off with the victory. I personally thought Crawford won the fight. He just didn't look dominant doing it. And a lot of times people, they get used to seeing a dominant fighter dominating, especially when we saw him against Errol Spence. Like, damn, he dominated Spence, right? So when you see a fighter that dominates and then you see him struggle, but still win, but struggle, a lot of people are like, nah, he didn't win the fight. I thought, no, yes, he did win the fight. It just wasn't easy, and he didn't dominate the fight. And Madrimov was on him. But had Madrimov let his hands go a little bit more, as much as he was moving around, he may have got the victory. And honestly, I mean, Madrimov doesn't have a lot of professional experience, but he's got a lot of amateur experience. And I just became a little bit more of a fan of Madrimov. I actually want to see what he's going to do next. I think that guy can be some force to be reckoned with. So I want to see what happens with him. Crawford, well, we'll see what happens. There was a whole thing of Canelo now, your greatness or whatever. Turkey Al-Ashik is saying, no, he's not interested. We're going to make some other fights with Crawford. We'll see what happens. Let's talk about Turkey Al-Ashik. And let's talk about the whole event as a whole. To me, I hear a lot of complaints. I hear that it was too long. Look, me watching in the comfort of my own home, I thought it was too long. Okay. Did I say that beforehand? No, I didn't. But now after watching it, I'm like, you know what? Just give me 4 good fights. I don't need it all day. It doesn't have to be like that. Now, when it came to the event, there was a lot of complaining. a lot of complaining, right? Especially for people that were there from the very beginning. They're like, man, we got there like at 4 o'clock. We didn't leave till almost like midnight, right? And people in the East Coast, the main event didn't start till after 1 o'clock or something.
1:30. 1:30.
Yeah. So, and I'll tell you guys this, man. Sorry if I missed you guys' chats, but I'll tell you guys this. I was thinking along the whole time, like, when is this venue gonna get full? We're already, in the fight before the co-main event. It did not look full in there. And even when the co-main event started, it packed out a little bit more, but it still wasn't completely full. And I'm like, okay, if the stadium is gonna get filled up, it's for the co-main event. People are not going to fill up the stadium for Crawford Madrimov. Okay, it was going to be for the co-main event. It's in Los Angeles, homie. That's just the way it goes. All right, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, as Bruce Almighty would say. But it didn't look full. Now, another thing was the complaints of the ticket prices. I was planning on going when I looked up prices, and this is probably about a month before the event happened. The cheapest tickets that I was able to see was like a little over $200. And I was like, yeah, nah, it's cool, dog. I'll just watch it at home. Plus, I'm a wrestling fan and SummerSlam was on that day too. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. Now, apparently the ticket prices went down as they got closer due to lack of sales. But the event itself, Turkey a la Sheik, he himself, everything, it looked, and the numbers are coming out, and it doesn't look that positive. Whatever it is that anybody wants to believe about the numbers, I'm not telling you guys to believe them. I'm not telling you guys not to believe them, but it doesn't look that promising. Mikey, I'll start with you. Then I'll throw it to David, man, our law enforcement guy. But I'll throw it to you, Mikey. What did you make of the whole event and Turkey a la Sheik?
Yeah, this is it's like he threw his own party. $200 tickets for cheap tickets. Dude, we live in California. We live in LA. Inflation. People aren't gonna waste money on that. They gotta buy groceries, pay gas. Like this guy's out of touch. The show was too long, gentlemen. My back was hurting. I was at home in my sofa. My butt cheeks, no diddy, me dolían las nalgas. I'm like, oh fuck. It was a long time. It was a long event. Plus a concert with Eminem, and it didn't sell. We were watching Eminem. I'm like, dude, I didn't even feel like watching him. And I love him, but it was too long. No diddy. It was too long. But and nah, man, I and the fights didn't live up to the expectations. And then they had a ceremony for him. Oh, he got a induction to the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
After like a couple months of him being a promoter, whatever he is. So that and his excellency, they were kissing his ass, and he was calling out Canelo. It was just like it was too long. The fights didn't live up to expectations. The tickets were too expensive, and he lost money, man. He lost money. He needs to go back and strategize and figure out a way how to get Canelo in his team, because he's not going to sell without the face of boxing, man. Canelo's the face of boxing. Turkey a la shit is not the face of boxing, man. So he better change his strategy, because he's going to continue to lose money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's definitely beefing with Canelo right now. David, man, you've been in law enforcement a long time, brother. Okay, what did you make of the event and Turkey a la Sheik, he himself, who is now inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame?
First of all, I know, yeah, unbelievable. First of all, since when is Saudi Arabia our friend, America's friend? Okay. You look at the 9/11 report. Read the 9/11 report, and you will see Saudi Arabia has its fingerprints all over being the mastermind of 9/11. All of a sudden, you got this guy, Turkey a la Sheik, come into, yes, he's a savior of boxing because he's putting on fights that we never would have seen. The fights that he's putting on, we never would have seen them. We got in October, we got Bader Beef and Bivol. We never would have saw that. But you know what? He is putting a lot of great fights. But, on Wednesday, on Ash Wednesday, on my show, we had Victor Avila, a hero with ice. And one of the things, he got involved in the shooting. Him and his partner were shot, and his partner, Jaime Zapata, was murdered by Los Zetas drug cartel in Mexico. After that incident in 2011, February 15, 2011, Victor Avila, he has a great book out, by the way, talks about in his book, and he talked about it on our podcast, that he saw the real America, the real politicians kissing everybody's ass like he's never seen before. And ICE turned their back on him. America turned their back on Victor Avila and his family. The reason why I'm bringing that up, when I was watching that fight, I'm watching it and I'm seeing this guy being inducted into the Nevada Hall of Fame, Boxing Hall of Fame, and I'm seeing everybody going up and kissing this guy's ring, calling him Mr. Excellency. Dude, people are selling their souls for a fight. They're selling their souls for a country that is not America's friend. Yes, they are on paper, but in reality, they are not. Why? You know what I mean? And they're making this guy sound like he's a big savior of boxing. Thank you, Mr. Turkey Al-Sheikh, for bringing these fights. And now he's declaring war against Canelo, saying that Canelo is not responding to him. And now Oscar's jumping into the bandwagon. If you don't answer Turkey Al-Sheikh, you're terrible, Canelo. Really? Look what he's really doing to boxing. Yes, he's bringing us great fights, but look what he's doing to the boxing community. But we don't need him to divide us. We're already divided. You know what I mean? But what I'm trying to say here is everybody's praising Saudi Arabia and him for the money. Dude, we're paying for those tickets. We're paying for this. Every time you go to the gas station, guess what? They're the ones that are setting the prices on gas in California, in Florida, and everywhere else. So let's don't look at him like the savior that he's coming in to save boxing. No, we're paying for it every time you put gas in.
Let me just add one more thing.
And I will never call him Mr. Excellency. You know what, Mr. Al-Sheikh? I still,
yeah.
You know,
he needs to respect America. They had his flag on top of every flag. They were flying the Saudi Arabia flag. Also, he's dividing us because he's putting money. He's doing that big the UFC event against Canelo in September, and he said, "Hey, I'm gonna crush you." He's going to war against Canelo. He's going to war against boxing. So you know what? Yeah. So, dude, this guy, I don't know. It was too good to be true. Now he's showing his true colors, and Canelo ain't going for it, man. Canelo doesn't need that bastard, man. We don't need him.
We can't trust these guys. We cannot trust them. We can't.
Where's that money coming from?
Yeah. I wanna give a shout out to David Contreras right here when he's talking about he had him on his show. David has a show called
The Gray Line, the story behind the blue line.
The Gray Line, where he has his retired law enforcement. For those who don't know, David spent many years in law enforcement, California prison, in Mexico, dealing with the cartels. And it's a great show over there, man. And they have a lot of retired military and law enforcement,
CIA guys, Mundo Mendoza, from killers to real killers in the CIA.
So let me ask everybody in the chat this, and I'll throw it to you first, Mikey. But I want everybody in the chat to answer this. Did it bother you that they sang their national anthem?
Of course.
I mean, I don't even remember they sang the American national anthem. Did they?
They did.
Yeah, they did.
Okay. I mean, dude, nobody was fighting in his. No, you only sing the national anthem if a fighter is fighting. He's not a fighter. He's not the face of boxing. That guy has a dress on. Nah, you know what? Now it bothers me. We're American, man.
Yeah.
It has to be America first. You're coming to our country. It's got to be us. And if you're a fighter, you deserve your national anthem to be. I respect everyone else's flag, but that guy, he's imposing himself. He's imposing his flag, his whatever. He's imposing himself when he's not a fighter. He likes the attention. This guy's, I don't know, man. He's kind of weird now. I'm starting to see more and more when he's talking and more. He likes that. He thinks he's a fighter. Luckily, he has money, man.
You can't trust those guys. You can't trust them. That's the bottom line.
Dave, we're gonna get us back. Dave, relax, brother. You can't put anybody like that.
Hey, David, let me ask you, did it bother? I mean, look, Eddie Hearn, he has events over here. They don't sing Eddie Hearn's national anthem from whatever country. I don't know what country. I forgot, somewhere in the UK or whatever. But they don't sing his national anthem. If Oscar de la Hoya has a couple of his fighters go over there, and they're not from the United States. They don't sing the United States. They don't sing, Old Glory, the Star Spangled Banner. Did it bother you that they sang the Saudi Arabia national anthem?
Of course it did. I mean, they're not our friends. I mean,
Mhm.
on paper, they're our friends, but they're not our friends. They're behind 9/11. We lost 4,800 people in 9/11. They're behind it all. They're manipulators. You know what I mean? And I'm not judging a whole nation but you know what? Let's look at past history. Let's look at patterns of behavior. Yeah, I had a problem with that. I had a problem, and everybody, Oscar, everybody's kissing this guy's ring, Mr. Excellency. Really, dude, for money? Come on, have some pride. You know what I mean? So I have a problem with that. But you know what? Thank you, Mr. Alashik or Turkey, Mr. Turkey. I'm not going to be disrespectful to him. Thank you for bringing these great fights. But this is America. Respect America. We didn't need to hear your national anthem. This is America. And we remember 9/11.
Yeah, I personally I didn't like it. I was like, okay, dog, only if it's a fighter. If you have a fighter from Saudi Arabia fighting in the main event, because that's when they sing it, sing the national anthem. That's not gonna bother me. I don't give a rat's ass, dog, as long as it's the guy with the gloves in
Yeah,
the
exactly.
ring.
Like it's
But
always
if
been. Yeah.
yes, that's the way it should always be. But now because it's you, homie, yeah, no, look, and look, we respect to everybody's culture, all right. And if that's your culture, you holding hands with another man and all that stuff, and cool, dog, do your thing. I'm not gonna judge it or whatever. But that's not our culture. We don't have, you don't have grown men holding hands walking down the street like that unless they're from that side of the tracks, if you guys know what I mean.
I
So the culture is different. That's cool, fine. I bring some of these big fights over here, no
Thank
problem.
you. Yeah.
But yes, respect the culture. And yeah, we don't, and unless you have a Saudi Arabian fighter, we don't need to you don't need to be blasting, dog, your national anthem, homie. And if that sounds like we're ungrateful, it's like, whoa, wait, you guys like the big fights, right? You guys like the big fights. Yes, like the big fights. But like you said, David, the fans are the ones ending up paying for it anyway.
Anyways.
Yeah. So, Mr. Alashik, yes, you're fronting the money so the fight can get made. Absolutely. But the money comes out of our pockets.
That's right.
It still comes out of our pockets. Like I said, I wanted to go watch the fight. The cheapest ticket I was able to find was a little over $200. Like, yeah, no, I'm good, man. But yeah. So I mean, Riyadh season isn't season, so we'll see what happens, man. I
And
can't.
Cholo, I didn't go to sleep that night. Us and JC, you're with me on this one till 3 o'clock in the morning. Do I want to see Eminem dressed like a 12-year-old kid lip singing? Really? 5 songs? Come on, dude, you're killing me. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm awake because once again, I'm addicted to boxing and I'm watching it, and it was a boring fight, the last one. I mean, and to see Eminem dressed like a 12-year-old kid lip singing. Come on, you're killing me.
Come on, Dave. It's Eminem.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Hey, we're up against it. We got some fights. Let's start with the fight that's flying way under the radar tomorrow. This fight's not really getting a lot of coverage, but it's gonna be a fun fight. I do want to see this fight. We got Venado Lopez against Leo, man. David, what do you make of this fight, man? Nobody's talking about this fight. It's flying under the radar because of the next fight that we're gonna get to. But Venado Lopez, man, he's a force to be reckoned with, and he's always fun to watch.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. I can't wait to see the fight. I've never heard of Leo. I believe he's, I don't know if he's undefeated or lost one out of New Mexico. I mean, you can't go wrong watching Venado Lopez. Either way, I'm going to have 2 televisions on and have my popcorn ready, and I'll be watching it. I mean, Venado Lopez could fight anybody, and I'll watch him. But I don't know anything about this kid other than being from New Mexico.
Yeah, Angelio Lopez. He is 24-1. 24-1. And yeah, this fight is happening out in Albuquerque, I believe it is, man.
Yeah.
Mikey, Bernardo Lopez against Leo. I would like for it to get just more coverage just because it's Bernardo Lopez, man. That dude's always a banger, Holmes. What do you make of this fight?
It looks like it's going to be a good fight, man. That kid Leo, I looked him up. You talked about it. I looked him up. He
He's
fought
good, Mikey?
Foster. Foster's the one that got knocked out by the Asian guy, the monster. ¿Cómo se llama? The guy with a little ponytail. Was it Foster? What's his name?
Oshaki
He knew he
Foster?
knocked, no, he knew he knocked out. Who did he knock out? The guy with the little ponytail. He went to Japan and he fought him. Remember?
Shoot.
Neri,
Luis Neri?
No, not Neri. A couple fights back, the African American dude.
Yeah. Stephen Fulton.
Fulton, yeah, he fought Fulton. Yeah. It was a good fight. Fulton beat him. That's his only loss. He has a 4-win winning streak. That kid's not bad, dude. He's not bad. I looked at his highlights. I looked at his interviews, and Tim Bradley. People are talking about like, and I like, all right, what's the big deal? And I looked at him. He has a good jab. He goes to the body. He has good IQ. It's gonna be a good fight. Well balanced. He's well balanced. His fundamentals are good, and he looks like he does pack a little bit of a punch. It's not like he looks sloppy. No, he knows how to throw his punches, man. It's gonna be a good fight. I still got Venado, but they're gonna fight in the kid's hometown, Stephen Fulton. Yeah, and I think the kid's gonna rise to the occasion. But I still got Venado, man. I think he's special. It's not getting into his head, and he's been training hard. And I got Venado, but if Venado slips up, this kid could beat him in points. Probably even drop him because Venado does a little bit of fundamental mistakes, defensive mistakes. He's out balanced. He could get hit, but I think Venado's too experienced for him. But it's a good fight. This kid's coming out 4-win winning streak, like I said. But yeah.
Venado is not the best boxer. He's just very exciting to watch, man. I like his style, very fan friendly. But yeah, definitely he leaves some holes open in his game, man. So if this kid Leo, man, if he could find some of those openings, which Venado leaves a lot of openings because he gets pretty aggressive. Yeah, it could be his night. This could be his breakout night, man, where people start talking about him. So yeah, we'll see what happens with him. But I'm excited for that fight. That's on ESPN. And it's not getting talked a lot about. And it's not getting talked a lot about because tomorrow we got my favorite fighter fighting, man.
Our favorite fighter. Yeah.
Yes, man. Leo study about we got the return. Well, not really a return, but this is the third time he's fighting this year. It doesn't even seem like it because he hasn't even fought 2 full rounds. In his fights, he hasn't fought 1 full round. They both got stopped in the first round. Virgil Ortiz Jr. against Boachek. Now I heard people pronouncing it Boachek. Boachek. Hey, either way, man, I'm excited for this fight. David, Virgil Ortiz made the weight for the first time. He has never, ever weighed in at 154. He came in at 153 and some change. How do you like this fight? How does this pan out for him? You were one, David, that were saying like, hey, he should just move up to 160. How say you in this fight? You
know what? I got him by a 7 to 8 round knockout. It's going to be a great fight, but I want to hear Mikey call it. I want Mikey. No, not call it. I want you to break it down because you know what? This guy Boachek, he's no joke. He's no joke. But I want to hear how you break. I love the way you break it down. I think it's going to be probably Cholo the fight of the year. What has potential being the fight of the year because they're both bangers. It's not going to be a dance around. It's not going to be a Rayo versus El Chaparro Pitbull. No, this one is going to be a banger. And like they said, you know what? It's going to start from the second the bell rings because they already have sparring sessions. So they're not. They know how they're going to fight. There's not going to be no learning curve. They're going to go like 2 pit bulls. Literally, they're going to go at it. But I want to hear Mikey break it down.
Mikey, pressure's all on you, but no pressure.
No. I mean, Virgil has the high guard, and there's deficiencies in the high guard. And Wojciech, man, I study his style. He's a little slow, but dude, this guy, a shot come boom, he counters over it. He goes to the body. He's solid, dude. He has power. His last fight versus what's that kid that knocked out the giant?
Mendoza.
Mendoza.
Yeah.
Dude, it was a good fight. He didn't knock out Mendoza, but he left his face disfigured, dude. This guy has packs a punch, and these guys sparred in the gym, and they know each other. And
If he
according to
wants.
Virgil, I think Virgil said that he got the best of him in sparring because he was a little heavier than him. If I'm not mistaken, I saw an interview when Virgil said, "Yeah, he did get the best of me in sparring." But sparring is sparring, right? But I mean, man, Virgil. This is what Virgil his mistakes is. He does get hit, and when he does get hit, say vuelve loco, he'll try to get you back, and that's when you could run into something. Virgil versus what Mean Machine. Virgil got hurt, man. Virgil got hurt, but his balls and his strength, his youth, it hurt. He chopped out Mean Machine and he beat him. But this is a dangerous fight. He could run into something and get knocked out. Man, how I see this fight, man, I think Virgil needs to make him go backwards, dude. Because if he comes forward and they clash up, either one could go to sleep. Virgil can box off the back foot too. He's got Robert Garcia, man, Lomachenko of coaching. He's got these guys doing some phenomenal footwork and phenomenal angles. So I got Virgil, but Virgil hasn't fought at 54 just right, Ed? We talked about it. He's fighting at 54, quote unquote, but he hasn't fought at 54 because he fights at the catch weight. And according to the team, they're saying that this guy doesn't fight at the catch weight and he cheats. He's on steroids, and also Virgil's very emotional, and that could take him out of his zone, out of his game too. So he's got to be very careful, follow instructions, use his jab, and make him go backwards, man. And when he does get hit, don't go crazy, dude. This is a crazy, crazy fight. And I'm gonna say it right here, guys. I'm feeling that this is going to be Virgil's first win via decision. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't even think he's going to go 12. I mean, I don't think he's going to stop us. It's going to be a dangerous fight, man. I have a feeling it's going 12. So I'm going to call it. I could be wrong, guys, but I think it's going to go 12.
There you guys have it, man. Mikey's willing to bet his house that it goes to the 12 rounds. Virgil winning. Hey, David, let me ask you this. People are saying, and a couple of people brought it up here in the chat, but I've been hearing it all day long as well, that Virgil looked pretty sucked up. This is the first time he made 154. Any concerns?
Yeah. No, I think he'll be okay. But yes, he did. His face, I mean, it looks sucked up. That's why, you know what? Go to 160. He'll do wonderful. He'll be a world champion. But I think he's going to be a world champion tomorrow. And the new, we're going to hear that. But yes, he did look sucked up. And I agree. I think D mentioned that he noticed that his hands were shaking. Yes. And that not because he was pissed off, but because, you know what? He's sacrificing. And he did 153.9, something like that.
Yeah. I am concerned. You know, Virgil's my favorite fighter, man. I love watching him fight. Ever since he came back from Rapto, short for whatever it's called, Rapto Maniones, whatever. Ever since he came back from that, he has not had a full professional round yet. I was there. I was there from Mark with Putazos y Pendejadas when he fought Lawson, and Tony Weeks stopped it like quick. And then he gets into the ring months later. I forgot who he fought, but he stops him with a body shot. Now the one with Tony
Delorme.
Okay, yes. Okay. Now the one against Lawson, I don't think it should have been stopped. Nobody did, right? But oh well, he got stopped. He got robbed from getting some rounds in. Maybe he was going to stop him, but it was close to the end of the round. Then he fights Delorme. He actually stops Delorme. That's not a referee, taking anything away from him. He stops Delorme. Now but those two fights, like I've said before, they were supposedly supposed to be at 154, but they weren't. They were at 155 plus. This is the first time he makes this weight. He did look sucked up. Boacek is one heck of a damn competitor and one heck of a fighter, man. And I am concerned. I am concerned, man. I am concerned. And not only that, when I saw them standing face to face in the face-off, Boacek looks a little bit bigger. He's taller. He's taller. He's definitely taller than Ortiz. So let's see, man. Hopefully Ortiz can rehydrate pretty well, because everything that I love about boxing, I find it in Ortiz. The way he carries himself, his
Professional.
personality,
Yeah.
how he fights, the skills, everything that I love in boxing, I find in that kid. Not to say that I don't find it in Boacek. Boacek, he does this thing too, man. I like watching him fight. So this is gonna be one heck of a damn good fight. David, you gotta call it, man. You gotta call it. Who do you
Well, you
gotta
know
know?
what? This isn't just Boacek against Virgil Ortiz. It's Robert Garcia against Manny Robles.
Oh
Because
Ooh.
yeah, that's true.
Manny Robles coached Virgil. Remember when
Yep.
Virgil left Eddie Reynosa? He went, so he knows all the weaknesses. You know what I mean? He knows how Virgil fights, and patterns of behavior never change. So he knows that already. So I think it's not only Virgil, but I'll call it 78 rounds. There's going to be a knockout. There's going to be a knockout, and I think Virgil's going to knock him out. Is he going to get hurt in the fight? Yes. Yeah, there are going to be a couple of times he's going to get stunned. It's not going to be. This is, I believe, somebody mentioned somebody mentioned or Demetrio that this is
Wow.
his hardest fight. This is going to be
Yeah.
without a doubt his hardest fight. But you know what? Once he gets this fight, bring in Fundora, bring in anybody, and he'll unite the belts. Crawford, bring in Crawford. I think that'll be the next fight.
Sebastian Fundora is fighting in the undercard. She's his sister's
Okay.
gonna be fighting
His
in
sister,
the
yeah,
undercard.
Oh yeah,
Gabriela.
sister.
JC's
Yeah.
girlfriend. JC's girlfriend.
Well, gentlemen, we've come up against it.
Wow.
Man, it's gonna be great to see Virgil Ortiz in there. Now, knowing that it's gonna definitely go past the first round. Well, at least I believe, man. I don't think he takes out Boacek in the first round. And David, what are the chances that Boacek stops Virgil?
I mean, he can, bro. I mean, this is that fight that it can happen. I mean, every fight can happen, but if this happened, it's not going to surprise me. I mean, this kid's a good fighter, but I don't think so. But I'm not going to be like, oh my God. I'm going to be like, wow, it can. If there's a chance, I mean, if there's ever a fight that it's not going to surprise me, man. But I got Virgil on it, but it won't surprise me.
Hey, Hectic, he's gonna be our
Hey,
eyes and
cool,
ears.
man.
He's gonna be
Yeah.
reporting for us right there live,
Cool.
man, for Los Tres Chingones Boxing. Mikey, what's the chances that
Yeah,
Boacek
with you,
stops
Vince.
Virgil?
Yeah.
Hey man, he could. We don't know Virgil 100%. He's only giving us 2 rounds or a round and a half. These last the last couple of years, whatever you just said. He's not. He hasn't proved to us. He hasn't made that weight. Look at Crawford, just moved up a little bit and he didn't look well. Now he looks a little sucked up. Can that affect him? Does his body react? We don't know 100%, man. And this is a dangerous fight. These both have like 90% knockout ratio. Anything could happen, man. But I believe in Virgil, man. He is strong. And I think he can box too, man. If he feels like he's in danger, let's see some boxing skill. Let's see some boxing skill. We've seen it from Ryo. We see it from Bam. We see it from the Robert Garcia corner, whatever, Robert Garcia. So what if they implement a little bit of boxing and he does give him a boxing lesson because he is a little bit fearful of the power. So that's the way to beat a guy with power. You give him a boxing lesson or you make him go back. This is a great fight, man. I can't wait, dude. But I'm saying decision. I don't know why, man. I feel decision. This guy's big and he's strong. He's a real 154 pounder, man.
And Ed, let me finish by this, if it's okay with you. You know what? Tim Tszyu would have been an easier fight than Boacek against Virgil.
Oh.
Tim Tszyu would have been an easier fight against Virgil. Put it there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Hey,
I think so.
You guys heard it
We'll see.
there,
We'll see
man.
tomorrow, but
Yeah.
You guys heard it there. David throwing rocks at Australia, man.
wow.
You're
That's
gonna
Saudi
hit a
Arabia.
kangaroo, Holmes.
I'm throwing boulders at Saudi Arabia. Now I'm throwing piedritas to Australia.
All right. Hey, man, that is one Mr. David Contreras, Mike Zavala from Mike TV, Cholo Trucker, Los Tres Chingones Boxing. Shout out to all the Chingones y Chingonas, man. You guys enjoy the fights. Whatever you guys do this weekend, be safe doing it so we come back and do it again. Till the next round. Catch you guys then.